This is what we're going to be talking about today. Boom.
All right. Welcome to the Live Fully podcast. We're at episode number 15-ish. Today we'll be catching up on what we've been doing the last couple months, GMP, good manufacturing practices, and then lastly we'll go through our myth and fact challenge, and finally current events with the new iPhone XS coming out.
I'm Victor Chung.
And hopefully it helps some people. Alexander Karp. We have to start from a place that is our own passion, our experience.
The Live Fully podcast. The last, 2 months, 3 months?
Yeah,
Since,
it's been a while.
Since like July.
Why
June,
are we so
July.
lazy? Like, we're not doing anything.
Yeah, let's see, we moved offices.
Oh, that thing. Yeah,
that little. So we moved offices, which is good.
Yeah.
We're now in kind of our new-ish setting.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do a thing. We'll do like a behind-the-scenes tour of the office, and then we have a new member of the team behind the scenes, John here. I won't give his last name just in case he doesn't want to share it. But when you're ready to, we're going to do shout-outs all day to you. There it is. There it is.
John Shaw.
John Shaw.
There it is.
So we'll do a little tour thing. We'll splice it in so you guys can actually see the new office. We're pretty proud of it.
Yeah.
So, and why we did it, there's a couple reasons why. I mean, we loved the old place. It was great. We got to launch our E15 business out of that office. So it was nice. It has a sentimental value in it. But this place is by far better. Case in point, air conditioning. This is not sweating as nice.
A little more walls and some doors to keep
pesky
crust.
pesky employees from bothering us all the time. No, we have the best team in the world. If anyone's watching this, we love you guys. Because that's all that's going to watch this is just a couple Utomic employees. But yeah, no, actually, so we moved here. What's actually your favorite thing about being in this new office?
I mean, overall, it's just the upgrade of the facilities. So nicer building, kind of feels a little more professional coming into work.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's that.
I agree.
I like having a lab space that has clear boundaries. So it's kind of like lab. I can kind of keep everything else out of the lab that's not supposed to be in there. Kind of that. Just having the separation of physical places for me gives me kind of that division of different types of work.
Yeah. Yeah. Much more organization.
Yeah.
I think the team liked it more too. I'm hoping they do.
I mean, the drive out here is kind of nice. It's kind of nice coming out into it's a different part of town. So there's little hills and mountains in the background driving in, kind of against traffic. Different. So it's nice not having to fight traffic. That side of it's pretty nice.
I agree. I actually really like the drive. It's farther, but I find it to be more pleasant.
Yeah.
So I heard there's a back roads. Kendra was saying there's a back roads way to get here, and I just can't wait to get a little sports car and bomb through the hills and.
Definitely wait until you get that first.
Yeah, my big old SUV is gonna fail miserably. Do we have life insurance?
I don't know. Do you? That's kind of a personal choice.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Lisa has a $10 million policy out. So. Anyway, so I guess we put a lot of effort into this new place. That's been our big focus, and then making sure this new place is also CGMP as well. So it's been a lot of work there, and we'll go into all of that. But we've also had some fun. It wasn't just work. I know we've a lot of time getting this office up and running, but you've actually gone some trips.
I did, yeah. I'm going to win a big trip to South Africa and Namibia. So that was pretty crazy getting there as far as about 34 hours of flight time.
Wow, I can even.
So good, almost 2 to 3 days of travel time just to get there. Crazy amounts.
Yeah, how do you even, so we can spend all day just talking about that.
Yeah, I can
how the heck do you survive 34 hours on a plane? And by the way, this is like all new to me because I'm a horrible friend and like
we haven't even gone through like the pictures. Like it's just like come back to work and like.
No, we just got like right into it. I feel so shitty, dude. Sorry. Man.
Surviving on a plane. Actually, I mean, I like traveling, so like I actually like getting on a plane, going to the airports. That part doesn't bother as much. Now that I have the purple matches, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like going somewhere. It feels exciting. Yeah. And the purple seat cushion is a big addition for me. Yeah, that helps me a lot.
Feels kind of interesting. I'm enjoying it in multiple ways. Go ahead.
I think that'll be your cushion from now on. I'm buying a new one.
There you go. That's how you do it, kids. You just lick that ice cream. No one's going to want it after that.
You just lick the seat cushion I've been sitting on for...
You can call it that.
33 hours of traveling in an airplane, and you licked it. Awesome.
With my butt saliva. All right, this conversation needs to be completely edited out. All right.
I'm not sure where you're going with this one.
I don't know. All right. So, Namibia.
Okay, so...
Yeah, so what'd you do, man?
Traveled to South Africa mainly to get to Namibia, which is a country just north of South Africa on the western coast of Africa. So Namibia is the second least populated country in the world.
Wow.
No one around. Absolutely no one around.
That's why I've seen some of your photos, and it's just like
and it's
desolate desert.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. Namibia is the world's oldest desert. Wow. So less than 100 millimeters of rainfall, which, example like the Sahara Desert is technically not a desert by that definition. It gets more rainfall than what a desert normally would.
Wow.
And then also certain parts that we consider deserts now, I don't know, 100,000, millions of years ago were tropical jungles that turned into, that's kind of where oil comes from in the Middle East because it was once a lush jungle. Yeah. But Namibia was always a desert for the life of the planet, essentially. Yeah. So it's the world's oldest desert, meaning super barren, super desolate, no people around, or very, very few, very uninhabited. So I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. This was kind of a friend trip. A bunch of us, like 10 of us total, went. And so I was kind of signing up with a good group of people and to a place, part of the world that I've never been to. And Africa is obviously a very, very large continent. So it's the size of the US, India, China, Europe, pretty much most of what, I don't know, myself, like I would consider a lot of the inhabited parts of the world is kind of all available in the landmass of Africa. I mean, Africa is such a large continent, but it's skewed because of humans, right?
Humans. So it's I love that Kendra has a story she always shares about a friend who called her about Ebola or something.
Oh yeah, when I was in Africa, let's see, that was 2014 when the Ebola outbreak happened, and we got emails from family members back home, hysterical, freaking out that that I was going to catch Ebola while I was there.
Yeah.
Not realizing that there was an outbreak already in New York City. We live in California, so I had to inform my family that they were actually closer to an outbreak of Ebola
you don't even think about it, right?
than I was being in the continent of Africa at the time.
Yeah, totally. It's
crazy.
So, yeah, people just don't realize you could fit multiple United States inside of the continent of Africa. So they could have flown to New York and back and still been closer to it than I was. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and our maps, our flat maps are just so poor at representing the ratio, the proportions of it all. Although there was a new map that came out with if I know we're gonna talk about this, I would actually read it in detail. But they have a new version where they take a map, whatever. I'm not even gonna go into it. But it's much more accurate. It's a flat map, but it actually represents. It looks a little bit odd, but the proportions seem much more accurate. So so we're getting there. But you're just always just like, oh yeah, Africa is like that. The United States is this way. Greenland is like that. And it's like, no, there's not even close.
Well, I think it stems with that. I think Africa is represented as a country with a bunch of states inside of it. That's how we naturally think of it because of the United States with a bunch of states inside of it.
Yeah.
Forgetting that it's a continent with countries inside of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That kind of puts things into perspective a little bit more than just thinking them as individual little states.
Yeah. So, good trip?
Great trip, yeah. It was camping, being out in the middle of nowhere. So got to see also one of the darkest parts of the world. So I can see the sky as far as stars, galaxies, in the nighttime sky, and in a way that's not been. We have a lot of light pollution around here that we don't really realize until we get into very remote areas.
You're seeing like full constellations and all that?
Oh yeah, for sure. And then different too, because it's, going to southern hemisphere, different parts of the world, look up at different perspectives of the sky, so kind of see, some things are recognizable or similar that we see the same constellations, but then you also see other viewpoints of it and it looks different. So it's kind of interesting to see that.
Cool, man.
But yeah, fortunately, another way I get through travel, especially with my back, is taking Kratom with me.
Yeah.
Which is a necessity. Yeah. And what I do love about tablets is that because they are pressed in a super dense form, they are less than half the size of comparable powder or capsules. So I can take a lot more with me in less than half the size, which is pretty crucial for this trip especially, because we were camping, we were out in the middle of nowhere, taking our bags with us. Yeah. It was very much a lighter travel packing that I was doing this time. So I didn't take my roller suitcase, had my backpack, and then another small duffel bag. So it was kind of very important to get as minimal as possible, which is also why if you look at all my pictures, I'm in the same pants and shirt for an extended period of time, which...
I think that's everybody that goes to Africa is in a similar outfit.
Yeah. But I'm just kind of like, but yeah, it's like...
It's all relative, right?
Yeah, and the thing is,
as long as everyone else is doing that, it's all good. We're all Simpsons characters. It's cool.
Yeah, it was nice. The weather was perfect. It was like 70s, very low humidity, nice. So not like we were sweating a lot and kind of in that... So yeah, wearing the same clothes over and over did not really affect the aroma we were giving off.
The aroma. Well, you were also eating like poop chips and stuff, so
there was some of that in there, yeah. There was.
You got to tell the story.
So this is kind of a game of whoever can spit giraffe poop furthest or not the shortest.
Okay.
Yeah. So the shortest person, the shortest spitting of the poop, has to buy the drinks at the next lodge. Is how the game is played. So you just don't want to be the
last one.
Yeah. You just don't want to exactly.
Which means everybody puts giraffe poop in their mouth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you lose? Did you win?
No, I did not lose.
But you kind of lost because you.
No. So giraffe poop is. It's plants. It's like grass and leaves, and so they also. Giraffes, because it is a plant, it's kind of like where cows have multiple stomachs. It takes a long time to try and digest, which means that when they poop, it kind of comes out just like compressed grass and seeds almost. Like you can kind of pick it up, and it's really, really dry. So it's kind of like has no taste, no smell, no flavor, just nothing. Just kind of
the
tastes
mental part of it.
It kind of tastes like. If you were to take like a rolled up piece of like paper, like tissue paper or something, and kind of compact it, and it has no flavor, just kind of like fiber to it. Yeah, there's like not much in it.
Yeah, so you always think you're like, ooh, it's poop. It's gonna
be
the worst thing ever.
But it's not. Nothing there. Yeah, we actually along that lines, we also took rhino poop. And because the areas are so remote there's certain trees, vegetation in different areas going around in different parts of Namibia. Yeah. So there's one area, the rhinos like to eat a lot of myrrh plants. And so their poop comes out and it's mostly, again, just kind of like half digested plant fibers.
Yeah.
But the cool part is that it turns into a nice burning fuel that gives off a little bit of smoke or a little bit of
good scent.
But yeah, because it's a myrrh plant, it gives off really nice scent. Smells kind of like when I would go to church, being raised a Catholic. So it kind of smells nice, and then plus it naturally keeps mosquitoes and bugs away.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just amazing. Yeah, in Namibia, just even poop smells nice and has like good functions. Right. You're like, all right.
Yeah, and wash away all your sins too.
Exactly.
So there you go.
That part was kind of the surprising, pretty cool part.
Yeah. Wow. All
All right.
right.
I'm dying to know. So haven't asked you this. I don't think Victor's asked you this. Because you like to travel, because you have the coolest group of friends that like to travel with you. What is next on your list? Where are you hoping to go next year or this year?
Hey,
So
no more.
I'm going.
No more
I'm
this
going
year.
to the remote, exotic location of Indiana coming up to see my parents.
Right.
And so I've heard.
What's next on your list of places that you hope to get to go?
So we don't have anything scheduled. So I don't know. Where would I personally like to go? I would like to go to Australia. I'd like to see Iceland. Russia or Eastern Europe. Those are pretty big on my to-do list.
You can finally practice some of your Russian to you've been learning.
Yeah. Duh. Need to get back into that.
I must break you. That's all I know. Is that Russian? No?
Kinda.
All right. Cool. That's Africa. We'll splice in some couple photos from the trip. You know, he has one where he's like, all like, you know, holding in his belly, ripped out, looking off in the distance is his new Facebook picture. Nice, man. You look
Photoshop.
Holding in his belly.
I know he doesn't like he's
Like Alex has like a big belly or something.
not at all. It's so epic though. I look at him like, seriously. All right, that works. I like it.
It helps when you have a couple of your friends are, I mean, technically not professional photographers because they don't make their money doing that, but at the quality or better than what a lot of professional photographers are. It's kind of it's their hobby, but they're amazing photographers, and it's like cool. So I get some decent pictures of me every once in a while when I travel.
Yeah, it is.
It's really cool.
Yeah, they are really cool. So I saw you use a lot of our travel packs too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the smaller versions of those. These are our full bags. So
travel pack. I mean, super convenient for its size, having some with me because it's. I mean, being out as far as have like a tent or campsite. But then we'd go on like a safari tour, so we'd be out in the truck for the whole day. And it's nice to kind of be able to have a small pack, take some with us without having to have like my full backpack and everything going. So yeah, that's convenience. Convenience of staying pain-free, which was make it enjoyable. So I can stay present, stay sitting in a car, driving all the time.
Not distracted with pain.
Yeah.
I think we're probably at the 20-minute mark, right? Around there. All right. We can transition to the next thing. All right. What do we want to talk about?
GMP.
All right. Let's start it up again. Cool. All right. So, CGMP. What does it stand for? So I want to get certified as a GMP facility. How do I do that? Teach me.
So GMP, why is it there's a lot of buzz in the kratom industry right now because the nonprofits, American Kratom Association, as well as the Kratom Trade Association, they are trying to self-regulate this industry, which is good. As far as I think us as consumers, we sometimes take for granted how much effort goes into keeping products safe, keeping them manufactured to quality consistency. I mean, especially in the U.S. So that's a big thing as far as coming back from Africa, where there's no branding, there's not really stores, malls, kind of that kind of stuff. So it's how do you find something that is, I don't know, credible?
Yeah.
And so that's something.
It comes down to just the quality of what it does, what it is. It's less about the fluff.
And so Kratom industry is trying to self-regulate, trying to promote safe practices that give consumers access to what we're looking for. So we want pure kratom that is potent, has not beyond its shelf life, there's no other contaminants, there's no risk of, say, high lead, because there's lead everywhere in the world, that kind of side. So industry is doing a great thing, trying to self-regulate, because we want to keep kratom accessible to everyone. And so what does GMP actually mean?
Yeah, because I want that certification, damn it.
Yes, and so that's a lot of confusion.
That's what that C stands for, right? No?
And so that's I think that's the biggest, or one of the big misconceptions is that you can be certified in GMP because you can't. GMP is a very rough set of guidelines. I mean, very, very rough, where it's basically kind of just the starting point of we write down procedures, we have people follow those procedures, and then we record a log of what we do. And so it's a very broad, open stroke.
Yeah, that's definitely just the beginning.
Right.
Of
and so
what is required or would be good for good manufacturing practices. So,
yes.
yeah. So this is an example, just a subset of our
written procedures, logs, and training records, that kind of sign off, that kind of validation. So that kind of helps understand where potential gaps are, or where we can, I don't know.
Yeah, it's good to have it written down. You're not going to remember it all. You're just not going to remember it all. So I think one of the things that I get asked is, why is GMP important? Why did you guys put effort into it, and why do you keep talking about it?
Yeah, because we're following GMP, good manufacturing practices, and we started this when we started ETHA. Even though there are no requirements in our industry, there are no requirements based on the specific products we are selling. We don't have to do this, but why did we choose to as a company?
Yeah, and that's, it goes into our background. I mean, we came from big corporations. We came from Hewlett Packard. We came from Life Technologies. These are companies that established themselves as the de facto. This is how corporations, right? So that's just what we know. And so when we start businesses, that's kind of how we do it. We don't just shoestring things together. And there's a little bit of that, of course, but in the end, we always try to make sure things are done correctly. That's just part of doing things correctly. So, I don't even think we called it GMP when we started. We just said, what, we need to have training materials. We need to have procedures for everything we do. We need to document as much as we can, because I'm not going to remember when that machine was last maintenance. Who knows? I can't be like, hey Bert, when was the last time you cleaned that machine? I don't know, sometime last week. That's not how we do things. So, these kinds of things are just a good way to run a business. And I love that we put that effort in, because we've already met what these new standards are for CGMP for the creative industry, but we've exceeded it. We've gone above and beyond, because like you said, it's just the baseline. Like, okay, so I have a procedure for cleaning the surfaces, but you could have, like, the procedure is I grab napkin and wipe, and then that's the end of it, and I do it once a week. Well, obviously that's not going to be enough. You got to do more than that.
Yeah, unfortunately, GMP just means that you have a procedure, document it, and then keep a log of doing that procedure.
Yeah.
You can have a bad procedure, you can have a bad cleaning procedure. And so that's kind of the next level of, I think, understanding that we bring from Hewlett Packard, Life Technologies, is that those companies have gone through many, many decades of manufacturing. And so some of that knowledge they learn over time, then we were fortunate enough to work for those companies. We kind of get exposed to that and ingest that information and know about it without having to go through the same decades and decades of struggle or potential missteps. And so now we kind of just incorporate that directly into, kind of build on what they learned and progress.
Yeah. So there it is. That's what GMP stands for. We actually wrote an article kind of going more into detail what exactly is GMP and why it's important. It's on our website for ETHA, ethalivefully.com. And you can read it and learn more about what we do. So that's GMP. All right. What else do you want to talk about? Next is
Myths,
facts and myths. Okay, so I think this is me now.
New section? There's like new section we started?
Yeah, new section, right? We can start a new section.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is the Live Fully fact or myth.
Yes.
And so what was the topic that we were trying to uncover?
Okay.
At least ourselves.
so I try to stay somewhat active in the Kratom space and Kratom forums on Facebook, and just kind of keep on the pulse of things. And what I was getting a lot of feedback or stories about or questions was, is Kratom sedating? Is Kratom sedating at higher doses? And I would see on the responses from everybody that, and this is very common if you go out there and you Google search what Kratom does, and it would be a very short phrase, low dose energy, high dose sedating.
Yes, I would say like for the most fundamental kind of summary of Kratom, always seems to start with Kratom has properties that are stimulating at low dose, sedating at high dose. Is kind of how they summarize across everything, it seems.
Yeah. So we obviously do a lot of lab testing for our products. We're measuring the different alkaloids, and what we find is effects are correlated with what alkaloids are in them and at what percentage. Pretty obvious. So regardless of high dose, low dose.
I would say personally, when I first came across potentially sedating effects of Kratom, I was excited due to insomnia that I suffer from time to time. So it was like, sweet, like this could be cool, like a natural product that can help me sleep. Like I would love that.
Yeah, me too.
And so what did you do in order to test?
So you guys know I'm. So the good balance between Alex and I is that, Alex likes to prepare. He's methodical, right? I am impulsive and just want to go. So as I'm reading these things on social media, I go, this is ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe people think that if you take a ton of Kratom, you're gonna fall asleep and it'd be sedating. That is not true at all. And I thought, well, I actually haven't tried it, so I'm speaking out of turn. I haven't actually done this. I haven't actually done a high quantity of Kratom. So let's do this thing. So I went out and grabbed, I don't know, I think it was 15 grams of Kratom, which is a ton of Kratom. So I've done the exact same amount every day. Sometimes once a day, sometimes twice a day. It just depends if I remember. So, and that's 2.5 grams. That's what I've done. 8 tablets, consistent. So 15 grams, by the way, is really hard to actually. That's a lot to use. So, but I got it all down, and we put a time in.
So 15 grams.
Yeah. How many tablets was this?
So like 50 tablets.
Yeah, 50 tablets. So this was
a
little bit more than I usually do. And I was a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. So I didn't know what's gonna happen. So at first it was like my pain went away. Great. So that's nice. But then I started getting majorly jittery, just a lot of kind of an energy kind of spike a bit, almost like having like a little too much caffeine, a little too much coffee. And then I drove. No, you had to drive me home because I was feeling a little bit head high from just too much Kratom, I guess. But so I asked you to take me home, and when I got home, my belly just started really hurting. And I just started cramping a little bit, and definitely exaggerated it, as if I was gonna die. It wasn't that bad. It was just a little bit of a tummy ache. And then I was wired forever. So I started working, and a couple hours passed, and I was like, oh, well, okay, now it's 9 o'clock now. All right, so I think we did it at I don't know, we took pictures of all this, 4 or 5 o'clock or something. So it's now 9 o'clock at night. I was like, oh, I still feel wired. So I took a picture, showed yep, see, it's 9 o'clock, still good. And then went back to work a little bit, watched some television. Midnight rolls around, still wide awake. 2 a.m., I'm still wide awake. And now at this point, I'm lying in bed, just wide-eyed. I'm like, when is this sedating thing gonna happen? Because it's 2 a.m. right now. So I didn't go to bed till like 4 or 5 a.m. and I wake up at 6:30. So it was the worst, the worst. So I know it could be personal experience, personal chemistry. We talk about that a lot, and it does vary. But from my own personal experience, I did not get one bit of sedate. I mean, when I was like tummy ache and on the ground a little bit, I could have maybe taken a nap right there. But
You're on the ground because of tummy ache?
I'm just exaggerating. So, I'm trying to get sympathy out of Lisa and Enzo. So it didn't work. They're like, why are you on? Get up. Just get up. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, man, I didn't get any. And I know you tried even more than me at one time, right?
Mm-hmm. I did 30 grams.
Yeah. Which
So-
I can't even imagine. That's just ridiculous.
I did a mix of some tablets and then a bunch of powder, like toss and wash, just to like.
Get through it.
Yeah.
What was your experience?
My experience, I had similar, I don't know, kind of like, I call it like a loopy feeling, like a little bit of like disconnected, kind of like, I don't know, almost like that feeling like when you wake up from a nap, or like when I wake up really early in the morning and kind of not really fully, maybe like, I don't know, aware of my surroundings, or kind of like groggy feeling, so that kind of like disconnected.
So out of it.
Yeah. And then I didn't have like stomach aches, that didn't bother me, but I did have constipation for a good 2 to 3 hours, and so it was kind of just didn't feel right, and I was like,
Did you gotta go, how do you know? Did you try to go to the bathroom and just couldn't?
Yeah, so I had like wanting to go or feeling to go to the bathroom, but then nothing would really
all that
work.
plant fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was about it. It was kind of.
And which told?
What's
that?
No sedation?
No sedation, no.
Oh.
I was hoping, but it was more, it kind of allowed me to focus. So I was sitting just in bed and working and doing a lot of stuff. So I was like waiting to get tired and go to sleep. And then that just kind of never happened. So several hours passed and I was still deeply engrossed in like doing a lot of, I don't know, I was writing emails and writing some procedure things at the time. And so it was just, I never had that urge to like, okay, now I want to go to bed, or I want to like stop work. And so I think it's, so my personal hypothesis is that, so we know that people use kratom for pain relief properties. Also, people use it for mood disorders, so like anxiety, depression. And so my personal hypothesis is that it's the anti-anxiety effects that people will then may perceive as sedating. Because we know that most people in this world, especially in the US, are sleep deprived. We don't treat sleep as the necessity that it is. And so we're always willing to put sleep off, which means we're almost always under the amount of sleep that we should be getting, which means that we're probably tired. So we drink a lot of coffee, we stimulate ourselves with lights, with phones, with computers, constantly.
Yeah.
And so I think that once people get a little bit of anti-anxiety, you can kind of calm down and think about it, then your body is like, well, yeah, you actually need sleep. And so you get tired and fall asleep, but it's not because it's actually sedating, it's just kind of, it's allowing people to know their body a little bit more and not be distracted by everything going around.
Yeah. And I think there's also alkaloids that are being researched for muscle relaxation properties, right? So some of that too. That everything is just
if you're
tense.
tense, if you're tight,
your body's tense, your mind is tense, everything is
stress, like keeps
stress.
you awake. Yep.
When you all of that goes away, lo and behold, it's easier to fall asleep. And I do find though, when I am taking more of our red vein or sunset, I find that my sleep, I'm not falling asleep any sooner or anything like that. I don't have trouble typically just falling asleep. It's just a regular pattern for me, so I don't have any insomnia in that. But when I do fall asleep, I actually sleep deeper. I feel more rested when I wake up. So I'm not waking up throughout the night as much from my, but it's mostly, I'm assuming it's mostly from just limited back pain throughout the night and my knees and stuff not hurting.
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah. So there you go. So no sedating for us, and it supports the research that we've done. Is there's just diminishing returns. So what I was a little
which is kind of, I mean, it's one of the reasons that we have not seen issues with kratom even though it's been widely used in the U.S. for the last more than 2 decades now by anywhere 5 to 7 million people a year continually use Kratom, and we just don't see issues arise because it doesn't have the same potential for abuse that other products do.
Yeah. So in other words, you and I taking higher quantities didn't relieve our pain more, didn't produce like this euphoria. It wasn't like this, oh wow, I feel like, amazing, so I just need to keep on doing more and more and more. My pain relief was identical to 2.5 grams.
Yep.
So no different. So,
but you had a stomach ache.
But I had a stomach ache, which
so,
passed.
Yep.
It was nothing bad. I didn't vomit or anything like that. It just, a little bit of cramping, and you had constipation. So, no big deal.
Yeah. So it's self-regulating, essentially.
It's self-regulating, which is great. So we've always recommended folks to kind of find what is that amount to use that works for them. But, there is going to be diminishing returns if you continue to try to increase more. So there's no need to keep on pushing forward. And we haven't had any of those kind of issues. So it's good. So yeah, that was not pleasant. I struggled for days after that. No sleep, man. I didn't sleep, but I slept for like an hour and a half. So
that's just like normal for you, though.
Unfortunately. All right. Next thing. Let's talk about
current events.
Current events. All right. Current events. So it is September, now more commonly known as, I don't know, Apple September, iPhone September. I don't know. So if you're an Apple fan, Septembers are always fun months because you might get some new phones. So anyway, these are the iPhone X. This is an iPhone X, but
iPhone X, which will be refreshed.
Yeah.
Which we don't know the naming, but maybe iPhone XS. A lot of people call it the
XS
X
because it is excessive. No. How many play on words and puns are going to be off of XS?
Oh, there's tons of them already.
There's already, right? That's ridiculous. Okay, so yeah, so they'll be, much like every year when they
looks like almost identical size, form factor, upgrade, internals, kind of typical S variation. So we'll see that. Spec
bumps, and there are definitely rumors all over the place about in-screen fingerprint readers and.
Yep. Nope on those.
You don't know. Let's keep the hope alive. Mm-hmm. Let's keep hope alive. So we might get that. But most likely you're going to get, going to 4 gigs of RAM instead now, better chip, better camera, kind of the usual increase in specs. So
Apple making a lot of money on the phone.
Yeah.
The usual.
The usual. Hey, we love it, right?
And then iPhone XS Plus.
Yeah.
They're going to make a larger version, which I am
big fan of.
Morally upset about. I was hoping there were some rumors about an iPhone SE
refresh
10 or X. That would have been my personal, that would have gotten me to go back to Apple. If they came out with the iPhone 5 or SE size with just an updated, that's it, just update, that's it. I don't even,
that's all I need.
I don't need the Face ID, I don't need all the bells and whistles.
I just love Force Touch.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I just wanted a nice small form factor.
You have big hands. Look
Yeah,
at this thing. This fits beautifully in your hands. Look at that.
This doesn't fit in my pocket. And
get bigger pockets.
Okay, I'm gonna. So I hold the phone and I can't reach the top. So I
just scroll down. Wait, is that? I don't even know how that works with the new. So, anyway, and then of course here's the
budget phone.
The budget phone, which won't even be budget. It's still gonna be ridiculously expensive. So. The iPhone 9, perhaps.
Most likely, yeah.
That's what it might be
called. That's the rumor, the 9.
The 6.1-inch screen, so smaller, right in the middle of all those. So LCD screen to save in cost. No stainless steel. It's going to be aluminum. Yeah.
Hopefully they bring. I'm hoping they bring back the actual black color, because the iPhone 10 was
you guys
more of a space gray, so it's kind of.
Yeah, there is a difference. It's hard to see probably on the camera, but there is a difference. Black and more gray over here.
And then hopefully they actually go back to a white iPhone 10s as well, because they kind of, the white color and the last Apples have been off-white, grayish color.
They are called silver. They didn't call it white, so.
That is true.
Or muddy white.
mean,
Is
yes, yeah.
Dirty white is what I've called. Yeah. So yeah, we have. So of course, Utomic has edges designed for them. So you spend a ton of money. I imagine this phone's going to be. What do you think? Oof. This is the iPhone.
I suppose it's going to be a price cut from what it used to be. Yeah. So we'll see.
All right. Even if it's $1,400, $1,400, you want to show this bad boy off. Let me cover it up in some
enjoy
big
the
case.
materials. I mean, they are still. I mean, Apple does a nice job making their phones. They're nice materials, glass back, everything feels great. So it is a shame to still cover these in a case that people choose to.
Yeah. And they keep it in a pretty slim form factor, and then you go ahead and just double the size with the case. Why do that? So, edges, there they are. If you guys can see it, we'll put a picture for everyone to see. So that's the silver edges, and here's some black edge. Oh, we didn't. No airplane mode. So there's that. Nice and blended in. And of course, we have other accessories as well too. So. These are. This is actually interesting. We were looking at when we're making our snap cases, and just how different, because it is kind of transparent a bit. How different they are, right? So you got two of the exact same thing, but you throw it on a black background and then a white background.
It's either red or pink, depending on what color your phone is underneath it.
Yeah, isn't that wild? So. Yeah, so keep in mind if you're a Utomic customer and you're picking out your snap case, just keep in mind that the color will change depending on what phone you have underneath. So, and we'll try to represent that on our website. So, but we will have multiple color snap cases that pair beautifully with our, as you guys can see, with our edges. So you get all the drop protection. So, and then whenever you want, you can just take this thing off real easily and show off your phone. So, or add accessories, right?
Or accessories like wallets, rings.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. A little more functionality, which is nice.
Yeah, this is actually one of our employees' phones, and he left his credit cards and ID.
Lunch on Bert.
Lunch on Bert, baby. Yeah, let's go to Morton's. All right, so yeah, we're excited about the new phones. We're excited about to see the real phones when they come out, and we hope everyone protects them with Utomic products. So Utomic edges, Utomic snap cases, slim cases, so forth. So that's that. And when is the event? Do you know?
September 15th.
15th? Okay.
Gather around.
22nd maybe release date, right? Usually a week after or so?
Probably, yeah. They've been getting pretty fast on release dates.
Yeah.
This one, the 9, might be delayed, as some of the rumors, which kind of makes sense. Push people to the more expensive phones, and then if you want to try and save money, then you gotta wait a little bit longer. So that'll be.
Yeah. Early adopters will spend more. So give them the big, expensive phones.
Yep. Sounds pretty reasonable to.
Come on, you're not gonna get a. Look at that. It's almost the same size as your phone right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I want to go smaller than my current phone.
You're not going to change. So.
No, I would go for a Pixel 3 would be one of my phones coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be a great one. Yeah, there's already leaks of the Pixel 3 out all over the place. So someone left an actual Pixel 3 XL in their Uber. So the Uber driver was like taking pictures. What a great Uber driver, by the way. Didn't take that phone. It's fully functional. Pixel 3 XL, like probably the hottest Google phone that's going to come out this year. And he could have sold it. He could have done whatever. But he actually, he took his pictures. Put it on the feed for the Instagram, get those likes and follows. But he returned it. So
there are honest people out there in this world.
Thank goodness there are honest people.
Most people are honest in this world.
Yeah, we're all. Yeah. Most of us are inherently good. So there you go. All right. Anything else? We've talked endlessly. We wanted to keep this thing short. I'm sure it's not. We wanted 20 minutes. What are we at? Maybe the 40-minute mark or something like that. 50-minute mark.
Yep.
So right. Typical.
Time to head out.
Yeah.
Close the show.
All right. As always, if you guys like this show and want to hear more, please support the Live Fully show by checking out Etha, livefully.com for all your botanical needs. Go to atomic.com for all your mobile accessories. And if you need some business consulting, check out bacalaconsulting.com as well. And as always, please live fully.